Back when everyone was playing on the Xbox 360, there was this little known thing, maybe not little known, but there was this thing called the Xbox Live Arcade, which had smaller, lesser known titles most of the time. I mean, it had Plants vs. Zombies and Portal and stuff like that, which weren't really lesser known, but they were still indie games technically, so you would find them on the Xbox Live Arcade store. And on the Xbox Live Arcade, the games would range from $5 to like $20, and you never see anything higher than $20. And within all those games, there was a game that released near the end of the Xbox 360 cycle in 2013. It was just before the Xbox One released, which is a little bit confusing on why they would release the game on the 360 just before the Xbox One released. But you know, it launched on the Xbox Live Arcade, and that game was called Zombie Estate 2. The gameplay of Zombie Estate 2 might seem super simple, and it kind of is when you look at it, but there is so much variety and content packed into the gameplay of this game. It's actually kind of crazy. There's so much variety with the enemies, the maps, the weapons, the characters, the hats. Like, everything has a purpose in this game. Like, the hats, for example, aren't just cosmetic only. Each hat has different stats that will, like, you know, be for different play styles and stuff. But also to mention, there's also a ton of stats in this game. So let's start with the enemies first before we get into everything else, and we'll just do this one at a time here. But first, you got your basic zombies. They don't move that fast, and they don't do much damage. They're kind of just your basic regular zombie. And then there's the Fire Witch, who deals fire damage, can kind of like summon some fire out of the ground, and since they're the Fire Witch, they take less fire damage, but they're weaker to water or ice attacks. Then you have your clown zombies, who are about as dangerous as normal zombies, and they pretty much do exactly the same thing as normal zombies, but they can also shoot confetti, and they look like clowns. You have the giant zombie, who deals a lot of damage, has more melee range since he's so massive, but the zombie also moves pretty slow since the zombie is a giant zombie. And then you also have giant ice zombies, which are pretty much the same thing as a normal giant zombie, but they do less damage for some reason, and they're also resistant to water attacks. But they move as slow, and they're like a giant zombie, but they're blue. Then you have the ghost. I almost said ghost zombies, but they're ghosts, they're not zombies, which can float around, and when they're floating, they can kind of just float anywhere. They can chase you through walls, and they cannot be shot when they're floating. Only when they stop flying and are on the ground can they be killed, and you then can shoot them. And I'm pretty sure you can shoot them when they're flying, but it'll only slow them down and won't actually kill them. You have to wait until they touch the ground in order to kill them, and those are ghosts. I really want to say ghost zombies, but ghosts are not zombies, and you can quote me on that. There are also slimes. I almost want to say slime zombies. Why do I keep wanting to say zombies after every enemy name? I don't know why. But there are also slimes who, when you kill them, they will turn into a puddle of acid on the ground upon death. And if you walk into it, you'll start taking damage. So if you kill some slimes, you want to kind of avoid the area that they just died in, which kind of restricts where you can move sometimes in certain maps, especially like smaller maps. Then there are also tar zombies, which are kind of like slimes, as when they die, they will leave tar on the ground, and instead of acid, it's tar. So tar doesn't make you take any damage, but if you walk into the tar, you'll start to slow down, and then the zombies can kind of catch up to you. But the tar zombie is pretty much does the same thing as a normal zombie, except for it leaves tar on the ground when you kill it. Then you got the skeleton, which seems to have a big melee range, and that is about it. They're just bony, they're skeletons, they have a bigger melee range. No, they don't have a bow. This is not Minecraft, okay? This is not Minecraft. This is Zombie Estate 2. And I think that's about all they have, is a bigger melee range for some reason. I don't know why they would have bigger melee range as a skeleton, but I guess that's all they have. You got the gardener zombie who summons vines, which if they hit you, you're not able to move for a few seconds, so they pretty much come out of the ground and they just kind of drag you to the ground. I mean, it's you're a 2D character, so it really doesn't, it's vines, they cover you, you can't move for a few seconds. These zombies are also resistant to earth damage since they are gardener zombies, so they're harder to kill with earth weapons, and they can just immobilize you. You got the hazmat zombies, which for some reason explode. Maybe it's because they're very radioactive, I'm not really sure, but actually, now that I think about it, there's multiple games that have hazmat zombies, and for some reason they all explode. I don't know why hazmat means zombies explode. It's either the fat zombies, the big zombies, the big fat zombies, or the hazmat zombies. When they hit you, or when you hit them, they can damage you and other zombies when they explode. No matter what, the hazmat zombie will explode. Whether it takes damage or it just gets close enough to you, it will explode, and it could possibly actually kill zombies and help you out, but if it's near you, it will hit you and blow you up along with some other zombies. And it kind of reminds me of Dying Light, because in Dying Light, or at least the first Dying Light game, there's like these hazmat zombies, and they kind of have that thing on their back, and if you shoot it, they kind of fly around and then explode. I don't know why, but I just got reminded of that. Now that I think about it, was that actually Dying Light or Dead Island, or was it both? I'm not even sure anymore. Anyways, the next zombie that you have is the Hamburglar zombie, or just these zombies that make burgers out of just random stuff in the map. I don't know, like some pink goop or something in the map. They just make a burger out of it, and then they eat them, I guess, but they get angry if you get too close to them or if you attack them. And they also move very fast and chase you, and then they want to eat you if you stop them from eating their burgers. So watch out for the Hamburglar zombies. Then there is the brain zombie, who turns into 2 smaller brains. Like, you kill this brain zombie, and then 2 brains will spawn from that zombie, and they will also try to kill you. And then nothing, if you kill the brains, then they just die. But if you kill them with shooting, if you kill them by shooting them, then they will turn into the smaller brains. But if you have melee weapons and you melee the brain zombies, they will die and they won't spawn 2 smaller brain minions. Last but not least, there is the Doctor Zombie, which can heal. They can heal themselves. I'm not quite sure if they can heal other zombies, but they probably can, because they're Doctor Zombies. But that's the last zombie. A zombie that can heal itself. What a zombie. So just starting right there, you already have a good variety in the zombies that you'll be fighting, which makes fighting the zombies not only more challenging, but also less repetitive, since there's different types of zombies. And technically, they're not all zombies. Some are slimes, ghosts, and other things, and giants and stuff like that. But I'm just gonna call them all zombies. Just zombie variants, you know. Maybe it is a ghost zombie. Maybe it's a zombie that died and is now a ghost. That may just be a ghost, but now it's a zombie ghost. Can we get some zombie ghosts somewhere? Like, why haven't I seen anything of a zombie ghost? But also, I just want to also point out that there are, from what I've seen and what I know, there are actually 14 variants of enemies, even though the game store page says there's only 13. And the one that's usually not mentioned is the Doctor Zombie, but I'm positive there's a Doctor Zombie in it. Next, let's talk about the weapons. Weapons. For some reason, there's so many weapons in this game. There's over 100 different weapons to use, and all the weapons can be laser guns, bows, swords, nukes, turrets, minions, foods. You can literally, there's a weapon in this game that's called, it's a cereal bowl. You literally throw cereal at zombies. I mean, come on, it's a cereal bowl. I mean, that's gotta be one of the best weapons I've ever seen in a game, to be honest. It also has cannons, and on top of that, some weapons, like, for example, swords, for example, some weapons are also elemental. So, like, you'll have a normal sword, or you can have a fire sword. or even like some ice weapons. So you can have like a normal version of a weapon, and then like a fire or ice version of the weapon, and then there's some earth weapons like the dirt cannon and stuff. There's just so much variety in the weapons that you're bound to find some weapons that you like and some that you don't like so much. But each weapon can also be upgraded 3 times to make them stronger, or even sometimes change the way that they look. And there's always going to be at least 20 weapons. I'm saying there's at least going to be 20 to 30 weapons that you're going to like out of the 100 weapons that are there. There's also lots of characters. They range from humans, robots, animals, smiley faces. Each character also has unique stats and starter weapons. So some start with like a melee weapon, some start with a gun, some start with a weapon that you can't even buy at the store. Like the chicken, for example, starts with a slingshot where you're slingshotting eggs at some zombies, and those eggs kind of like explode, and they seem like, I can't prove it I guess, but they seem like they do area of effect damage when those eggs explode. So I'm just saying there's some unique starter weapons within the characters, and depending on your play style, certain characters you'll go more towards certain characters as the more powerful characters. There's always going to be more powerful characters. You're going to start with like the basic tier kind of characters, and then as you play more and you do more waves and you get some zombie points, which you get those by playing the game and completing waves, you'll get more zombie points and you can buy new characters. So there's like low tier characters, mid tier characters, and high tier characters. And also, I mean, you can be a chicken. You can be a chicken with a hat and a slingshot shooting eggs in this game. I mean, what else do you want from this game? I mean, you can also be a sheep. You can be a piece of broccoli. I mean, there is something for everyone in this game. I mean, there's just all sorts of funny characters and just weapons to go along with it. But on that note, there is also no knight character, so I have to deduct a point from this game because there's no knight character. I repeat, there is no knight in this game, so that's like the only character that is missing from this game. Otherwise, it's fantastic. You can be a chicken. Like I said earlier, there's also a ton of different stats in the game, like max health, reload speed, bonus physical damage, bonus gunshot speed, bonus fire damage and resistance, movement speed, armor, bonus melee damage and melee speed, bonus earth damage and resistance, healing bonus, lifesteal percent, bonus minion damage, bonus minion speed, bonus water damage and resistance, critical hit chance, explosive weapon bonus, and there's also stats for more ammo of every type of ammo. Each of the 35 characters all have their own stats and are better with some weapons and are worse with some weapons, and they can be more or less useful depending on what type of play style you're playing and are going for. There are also a ton of hats that can also change the stats. So on top of your character having stats, you can put on some hats, or a hat I should say, because you can't wear multiple hats. You can only wear one hat, and whatever hat you put on, it can also change your stats. Like if you're going for a rocket launcher build or something, you know, something where your main weapon is going to be like some sort of rocket launcher, you can get a hat that will help you with the rocket launcher build, is what I'm trying to say. So if you know what weapons you're going to use and what kind of build you're going for, you can pick a character in a hat that will give you stat bonuses for those weapons and for those weapons in your character and your playstyle. Now, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about the graphics, and I know most of the time graphics are, you know, just different for everyone. You know, some person might say, oh, that's bad graphics, another person might say that's alright graphics, and, you know, it's, especially when it's more stylized and, or, you know, stylized or pixel art or something like that. It's a bit more, I can't think of the word that I'm trying to use, but you know what I'm trying to say. But the graphics in this game is kind of a mix of 2D and 3D. It's like a 3D world with 2D characters, all with the pixel art style, and I just really like how it looks. But on the other hand, the main menu could use a graphics update as it kind of looks worse than the rest of the game, and the UI also needs a resolution scaling fix, as it does not scale well to the screen when on a higher resolution than 1080p. So if you go 1080p, it's fine, but if you go 1440p or 4K, just everything gets really hard to see or read, because the text is super small. The menu kind of like, I don't know, gets weird. The main menu just kind of gets weird. And in game, seeing your little corner of the screen that tells you your ammo, your guns, and then like seeing the shop, it's just so tiny you can hardly see. So I would definitely recommend playing this game at 1080p, as anything higher than that, the UI will scale weird and you won't really be able to see much. UI, by the way, I'm talking about, you won't be able to really see much of the UI because it'll be so tiny. Now I know what some of you are thinking, if any of you are even left at this point, because most people, the average view duration of my videos is about 5 minutes and 24 seconds, which I think is pretty good for my videos. It's been going up, but most of you won't make it to this point, so let me know if you did make it to this point. But I know what you might be asking yourself right now. Why am I making a video about this game or talking about it? And because it's just, why are you just talking about this some random game and it's kind of old? But let me tell you why. I recently just found this game again on PC, and I thought it was only for Xbox Arcade, and I kind of forgot about the game for a while. But apparently in 2017 this game released on Steam, and on top of that it's also only $5. So when I stumbled across this game again on Steam, you know, I just had to get it and check it out again. And I gotta say, I had some more fun with the game, even though most of my playtime was back on the 360, just back in 2013 and 2014. But there's so much fun you can have with the game right now. And if you like top-down shooter style games and you haven't heard about this game, you should go and get it right now, because it's going to be a good time. And this game was also like a wave of nostalgia for me, so I just had to make a video about this game. And you know what? I can make videos about any game. Alright, just some random games I might want to talk about one day. I can make a video about it once in a while, okay? It doesn't always have to be some new game. And you know, more recently I've just been talking about older games too. Something about older games gets me more excited to play older games and talk about older games than most new games that are releasing now. So that's why I'm talking about this game. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment below, tell me what you guys think about this video, and what you think about Zombie East State 2. Have you played Zombie East State 2, and when was the first time you played Zombie East State 2? And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because you want to be subscribed, and I'll see you guys next time.